Когда в 1935 году известного французского шансонье Мориса Шевалье попросили перечислить...
When in 1935, French chansonnier Maurice Chevalier was asked to list the world's most beautiful women, he named the German singer Marlene Dietrich and the Swede Greta Garbo. But the Hollywood beauty Anna Stan has taken first place on this list. Few people know that she was born in Kiev and her maiden name was Anna Fesak. When answering journalists' questions whether she speaks Ukrainian, Anna said that she spoke Ukrainian until she moved to Moscow at the age of 12. In 1926, she debuted in Soviet silent cinema. The actress's career developed rapidly. In a year, she started to play leading roles, having acted in film The Girl with a Hat Box by Boris Bernat. In 1928, she starred in The Earth in Capture, My Son, and White Earl, directed by one of the pioneers of domestic cinematography, Yakov Partisanov. Several movies featuring Stan were screened abroad and had a positive feedback. In 1930, Anna was invited to Germany, where she played in the sound motion picture Accountant Kramke. After that, the actress decided to stay in Europe, where she continued her acting career. In 1932, Anna caught the attention of a film producer named Samuel Goldwyn, who invited her to Hollywood. Her first American movie, Nana, directed in 1934, was based on the novel of the same name by Émilie Zola. It was widely advertised by the press. Anna Stan also played in 14 Hollywood movies. The Wedding Night by filmmaker Ken Vitter is the most famous one. The movie won an award at the Venice Film Festival.
«Брачная ночь» режиссера Кинга Видора, получившая премию Венецианского фестиваля. В 50-е годы...
In 1950s, when Anna Stan's career was coming to an end, Jack Palance was nominated for Oscars as an actor of the Western genre. But before receiving the Academy Award, he played the lead role in such famous movies as Treasure Island, Batman, Dracula, and City Slickers.
Городские пижоны. Во время процедуры награждения 70...
At the ceremony, the 72-year-old actor, former boxer, amazed the audience with his athletic abilities. He performed one-arm push-ups, bringing the house down. It was one of the most memorable moments in the history of the American Academy of Motion Picture Arts. In 2004, Jack Palance, born Vladimir Palahniuk, was invited to the Russian Cinematography Awards ceremony, was in the Russian Nights Film Festival in Los Angeles. Palance publicly turned down the award, emphasizing that he was Ukrainian, not Russian. "I'm Ukrainian, I'm not Russian. My parents were born in Ukraine, so excuse me, but I don't belong here. I feel like I walked into the wrong room by mistake. It's best if my friends and I leave," he said with strong emotion. A considerable part of people present at the ceremony left the hall with him.
Значительная часть присутствующих. После награждения в зале должен был демонстрироваться фильм.
After the awards ceremony, there were plans to show the movie 72 Meters, telling about the Black Sea Fleet submarine crew that refused to take oaths to Ukraine. Seeing as Jack Palance felt himself Ukrainian, he had enough motives to express his political views. The actor truly had nothing to do with Russia. Palance was born in the US in 1919. His parents were born in Western Ukraine, which at that moment was a part of Austria-Hungary. During his Hollywood career, the Oscar-winning Jack Palance constantly demonstrated that he was a die-hard patriot of Ukraine.
Actually, my name is Vladimir Palahniuk.
В действительности меня зовут Владимир Палагнюк.
Where are you from?
Ukrainian.
Right up until his death, the actor dreamed to play the role of Taras Bulba.
Украинские корни.
Hollywood film director Boris Sagal, who was born in 1923 in Dnipropetrovsk, also had Ukrainian roots. Shortly after his birth, Sagal's family immigrated to the US. The future film director studied at Harvard Law School and the Yale School of Drama. He started his movie career in 1950s as an actor. Later, he became a producer of TV projects and series. Boris owes his popularity to the fantastic post-apocalyptic movie The Omega Man, released in 1971, and to his participation in the making of the highly popular TV series Columbo, in which the late Peter Fox starred as a detective of the Los Angeles Police Department for more than a decade. The audience knew almost nothing about the graduate of the literature faculty of the Odessa Institute of Public Education and the scriptwriter of such popular Soviet movies as The Tractor Drivers, The Taming of the Shrew, and others. As a rule, film directors were honored, while scriptwriters went totally unnoticed. But Ukrainian Yevhen Pomeshnikov, born in Donetsk, was well known in Hollywood. Several years before the first human spaceflight, Yevhen wrote a script about the scientific expeditions of Soviet and American astronauts to the Red Planet. Two space crews competed for who would reach the planet first. The movie, based on his script, was shot at the Kyiv Dovzhenko Film Studio in 1959. In 1962, the US produced an American version of the movie entitled Battle Beyond the Sun. Director Roger Corman and young student Francis Coppola took part in the filmmaking. They replaced the anti-American propaganda with the battle of two Martian monsters. The scene of the movie is in the future, when the Earth is divided into two parts, North and South. The film, The Sky Beckons, haunted Americans for the longest time. In 1968, a movie called 2001 Space Odyssey by film producer Stanley Kubrick was released in the US using drawings and graphic design from the film The Sky Beckons.
«Одиссея» 2001 года, в котором использовались рисунки и графические решения «Из неба зовет», выполненные американскими художниками.
Hollywood is called the factory of dreams for a reason, as it produces several feature films a day and attracts talents from all over the world. All the tabloids of the world write about the exorbitant incomes of Hollywood stars, photos in their villas, planes and jewelry. Millions of viewers who speak different languages can appreciate their acting. It is no wonder that a lot of actors dream of becoming famous in Hollywood. They are ready to sacrifice a lot to fulfill this dream.
Вот почему прославиться в Голливуде мечтают все актеры планеты. И ради этой мечты они могут пожертвовать многим.
Oleg Stefanenko, son of a Ukrainian miner, violated family traditions for the sake of his dream.
Вырос в городе Донецке. У нас не было много вариантов.
I grew up in Donetsk, so I had very few prospects. I could enter the Institute of Soviet Trade or become a mining engineer and work in a mine.
Инженером работать на шахте. Обе идеи мне нравились, но буквально неделю. То есть
I think both options would only interest me for a week. I couldn't imagine myself trading or working under the ground any longer, but I wasn't interested in it. Later, a girl from another city came to our school. Her father was a serviceman, so their family was constantly on the move.
Приехала девочка, у нее папа военный, и, значит, их привели.
She planned to enter Theater Institute. She became a good friend of mine. She offered me to try to join the institute, and I thought, why not give it a go?
Что нужно готовить, и я так думаю, ну почему попробовать-то, потому что вернуться в город-герой Донецк и поступить.
I'll be able to return and enter the Soviet Trade Institute at any time, so I joined the theater school.
Поступил.
Having graduated the Shepkin-Haria Theater School, Stefanenko worked in Moscow at the Maly Theater, small theater. The actor never forgot about his native Ukraine. In 1985, he played the role of Duncan, the skipper of a yacht, in the film Search for Captain Grant, produced by the Odessa Film Studio. In 1991, the Dovzhenko Film Studio produced The Bay of Death, starring Stefanenko. In a year, Oleg Stefanenko moved to the US in search of a better life. As many other migrants, he worked at a service industry in New York. Sometimes he combined work in the modeling business with performances at the Theater of New York City. Later, he played in his first American movie. In 1994, Oleg Stefanenko moved to Los Angeles. He got recognition in the US only after the release of the film Good Shepherd with Robert De Niro. We do not know what the future will bring, as our friends can turn into enemies, our enemies can become our friends. I became known in the world of cinema after that film directors started calling my agents and offered me roles in movies. Oleg Stefanenko played supporting roles with many famous actors, among them Robert De Niro, Michael York, Leonardo DiCaprio, Alec Baldwin, Julia Roberts, Sigourney Weaver, and many others. In Hollywood, Stefanenko is known as Stefan. Responding to the question of why such a stage name, the actor said hardly, no one in US can pronounce his surname correctly in Ukrainian. Maybe he adopted the pseudonym because it sounds like name of his father, Stepan. Having become a Hollywood star, Oleg Stefanenko doesn't forget about his native Ukraine. In 2008, he played in Everything is Possible by Ukrainian film director Oksana Bayrak. What are you doing here? I came to take you. But what about her? What about her? Well, did she ever exist? I thank her. She helped me understand that I love you. It's a real shame. I wish we could turn everything back. Everything is possible if you are in love. It is a known fact that Hollywood today is full of Ukrainian actors and actresses who do not conceal their national identity and are proud to be Ukrainian. Milla Jovovich, Best Supporting Actress in the film The Fifth Element with Bruce Willis, performs a Ukrainian song.
So, Farmiga, that's Italian.
Farmiga. It's Ukrainian.
Ukrainian?
Well, I'm Ukrainian of heritage, but it does sound Italian.
It does sound Italian, Farmiga, but it's not Farmiga, it's Farmiga.
Hollywood actress and film director Vera Farmiga was born in 1973 in the U.S. in a family of Ukrainian immigrants. She didn't speak English until she was 6 years old. She studied in a Ukrainian Catholic school and graduated from it in 1991. Farmiga was a member of a Ukrainian folk band. After graduating from university in 1996, Farmiga debuted as a bump artist in Broadway theaters. At the end of the 90s, she started acting in movies. Later, she played in Autumn in New York, The Departed, Running Scared, and others. Having played the role of Alex Horne in the film Up in the Year by Jason Reitman, Farmiga was nominated for several awards, including an Oscar nomination in the category Best Supporting Actress in 2010. In 2013, she was nominated for an Emmy Award for Best Actress for her role of Norma Bates in the Bates Model TV series. At the moment, there are many Hollywood stars whose ancestors are from Ukraine. Many people in the U.S. know that Steven Spielberg's family hails from Odessa, Ukraine. It is possible that he has relatives living in the Moldovanka district of Odessa. Even Spielberg himself tells that he remembers some Russian words. Sylvester Stallone's great-grandmother was from Odessa. The grandmother of Leonardo DiCaprio lived in Odessa. Michael Douglas's father was also from Odessa. The parents of Dustin Hoffman lived in Kiev. Mila Kunis was born in Chernivtsi and lived there the first 8 years of her life. In 1991, her family immigrated to Los Angeles. The fearless James Bond girl Olga Kurilenko was born in Berdansk in the Zaporizhia Oblast of Ukraine. Milla Jovovich's mother, Halina Loginova, studied in Dnipropetrovsk and started her acting career at the Kiev Dovzhenko Film Studio and later married Bogdan Jovovich, a doctor from Montenegro. Milla Jovovich attributes her success in life to her Slavic origin. Winona Ryder's ancestors were immigrants from Kharkiv and had the surname Tomchina. Actress dreamed of shooting a film about her relatives who lived during World War II. The real surname of three-time Oscar nominee Natalie Wood is Natalia Zakharchenko. During the February Revolution of 1917, her parents fled from Kharkiv to Vladivostok. Later, they moved to China and then to San Francisco. She played about 60 roles. Among the movies are West Side Story and The Great Race that make up the golden fund of world cinema, and the list goes on. We told you about Hollywood celebrities and famous actors. Many Hollywood stars are of Ukrainian origin, but speaking the truth, there are many famous Ukrainians who remain behind the curtains. Among them, there are filmmakers, cameramen, stunt players, artists, and others. They achieved great success in Hollywood and thus glorify their historical homeland.
которые добиваются успеха, прославляя тем самым свою историческую родину.